So most people think that some of us were raised, we went to school in the city, we've raised our children in the city, so we think that's the only life. Like when you stay in a place for so long, you think that's the only life you know, basically. So but let me tell you guys, people don't talk so much about living outside the city, like living outside Nairobi, whatever that place looks like for you. Like for example, if you are living in the central, western, Nyanza, Rift Valley, yeah. So guys, this is, you get to have these walks without, I don't pay for the gyms nowadays. I can just leave my house and take very long walks. And mind you, this road is not the main road. This is a road that is within the estates, like within the where people reside, residents, you know. There's another main road. Okay, so sometimes we feel stuck because we live with only what we know. But sometimes they say exposure is the best. Exposure is so good, because once you leave what you used to know, as much as it's very uncomfortable having to leave what you know, like having to change your environment, we feel so stuck, like we can't move anything. And mind you, nobody is forcing you to stay there, or nobody is telling you that is the only place you can stay. Okay, and I don't take it for granted to have the choice to either live within the city or outside the city because of the kind of work I do. So I might be saying this from a place of privilege because I can do this, right? But everyone should try and just think about it. Like think about leaving the city to a small town, probably close to you. Yeah, so I really am enjoying my Sunday afternoon, and I hope you guys, wherever you are enjoying what the cards dealt to you, because sometimes it's not, some people don't have a choice but to live within the city because of the kind of work they do. And this is why I keep talking about money, guys. I keep talking about the ability to work with your finances so that you're able to live outside, or to be able to afford the kind of life that you want. It might take a few years of sacrifice for you to deny yourself the things that you think you want. But can you imagine, once you are able to manage your finances or be able to get out of debt, then you get to choose where to live. Like you get to choose so many things that you think that only people who are privileged get to live this kind of life. Like they be able to move from one city to another, move from one country to another. But when you don't have so much baggage, meaning you're not tied down with so much debt, yeah, then you can be able to do whatever you want. Probably get a small piece of land in such a place, build your small house, put on a solar, fetch water, use water from the rain, because this place experiences a lot of rain. So there's no paying water here, there's no paying garbage here, right? So I might say this, and someone will say, but it's because I'm an average Kenyan. I don't come from a rich family. I've worked for a very long time, and even when I was working, I don't think I was able to do as much as I have been able to achieve right now. Okay, so you are not stuck, guys. I'm going to talk about money until, guys, you realize that a few years of sacrifice, a few years of living like nobody else affords you to live like nobody else, affords you to make choices and decisions that you feel like they are so far-fetched. Because if I don't have a car loan, I don't have a mortgage, I don't have what else? I'm not in terms of, like, I'm not held, or I'm not working a 9-to-5 job. Not because guys, listen, I did not quit my job because I was earning millions or I saved millions. In fact, when I was leaving my job, I did not have any what is it called, sovereign pay, or what the payment that they give you when you leave your job, the only thing I got was a pension. And that pension, guys, wasn't even a lot of money. It was not even like 500,000, 1 million, 2 million. No, because our pension had started a bit late. So it's not even about the pension. So, but you have to trust that when you don't have debt sometimes helps us into a position that we don't like. Yeah. When you don't have debt, when you deny yourself those those pleasures, that like going out with your friends, drinking, buying everything that is new, like every now and then you're changing your house, every now and then you're buying new curtains, every now and then you're shopping for, I don't know, glassware, Stanley cups, you're shopping for new carpets. Like you're going to be in that perpetual cycle for a very, very long time. But guess what? If you decide not to be held and to find contentment in what you already have, then you can transition to whatever you want. Transition to a new job somewhere very far. Transition to doing small business, because you're content, meaning you're not pushed or driven by materialism or overconsumption. You know, there's a difference between being content by what you have and also overconsumption. Yeah. There is a difference between, someone will say you want to live a small life. No, there's a small life where you settle and you live a very pathetic life, unfortunately. But there's a life that you choose. When you choose the life that you want, even if it looks small to other people, it is your life. You chose that life. You're content. You have found joy in living in smallness, or living in how you want to live, right? But there are circumstances that will force you to live in smallness. But that means it's not your will to be in that smallness. I don't know if it makes sense. Yeah? So, some people have a car that they can use to move from point A to point B. But what happens? You end up wanting to buy a bigger car. Then you get to that car, you realize, I want a bigger car. So you keep shifting your goal post. Yeah? That's overconsumption, because do you really need that big car? Do you really need a 4-bedroom house? Yeah, you have a 3-bedroom house. Probably even your kids are half of the time they're in boarding school. Yeah, so that's why I keep telling you guys, money choices, money small choices. Like, I don't have a lot of money, but guys, I don't have a lot of money. But before the way I live my life, people think I have money. Like, I can wake up and do this, wake up, make these decisions. That's not the case, guys. It's just being intentional, living. Ella, move. Be careful. It's just living a very intentional life, a very content life. I don't feel like the need to keep buying things. I don't feel the need to keep spending my money anyhowly. Like, I'm intentional about where I spend my money, where my money goes. I am very intentional. So I want to say I'm almost like a minimalist. Like, I don't find the need to keep filling my life with stuff. If I calculate the cost of whatever I want to acquire and I don't see a return on investment, then I don't waste my time there, guys. So I'm gonna say this: you're not stuck. Like, if you just made a decision for the next few years to first sit down with your finances and just calculate how much do you spend in a month. Where is your money going? Even if you're employed, then you stop doing those things that you are doing. You see, you cannot continue complaining that your life is stuck and you're doing the same thing year in, year out. You decided 2020, after the pandemic, that you're going to change your life. Then after 2020, you decided to go back to the same cycle, right? Of spending, going out. And then again, we know we have this perception that we need to spend money on our children, take them out. Guys, most of the time, me and my daughter are just working. Yeah, most of the time we are just working for free. Like, and then you see, out of Nairobi or outside the city, what happens is that there are not so many places to spend money on. Like, if I have to spend money, what am I going to do to spend money here? I don't even know. So I'm forced to do things that does not require money. So as I was saying, if you can just sit down with your finances, guys, and see how much do you earn, what is your actual income, not the income that after salary, then you take Mshwari, then you take KCB, then you take credit card. That's not your income. Your income, true income. How much money do you earn per month? Sit down with that and be honest about it, right? Then see how much expense is leaving your pocket. Sit down with your M-Pesa, sit down with your bank account. Just look at your receipts if you can. Observe be an observer of your own life. And if someone was telling you, audit your life, but now you're not only auditing your life, you're auditing your life with no emotions. You're sitting down and thinking, my God, I've been spending so much here, and I need to stop spending money here, right? Then see, are you people who are every time you are forced to spend money because of the pressure of how people are living? Guys, I did a YouTube video about overconsumption and the need to stay on top of everything new. Like if people are buying Stanley Cups, you're buying Stanley Cups. Why? What is the need for more than 2, 3, 4 Stanley Cups? And you see, this is a problem. When you start like that, what happens in most cases, you bought the Stanley Cups, the pink, the purple, I don't know, the white, but now because it's a very bulky cup, you might not end up carrying it. So you go back to the same bottle. No, that's old bottle that you feel like you have outgrown it. You go back there, right? So, higher. Now, once you sit and see your expenses, I'm telling you guys, just be an auditor to your own life and you'll be surprised. You are going to be surprised by how much money you spend on things that don't even bring you joy. Like, what do you want? What is your rich life look like? Don't compare yourself with other people, because just everyone is changing their curtains. Everybody is buying new carpets. Everybody is shopping, doing the restock that look like that. That's madness, guys. That's madness. You don't need that much food. I don't know why people are conditioned to think that they also need to do restocking and all that. Yeah? So, when you sit with yourself and know what you want, what is your rich life, what is your financial life look like, then once you lock down on that and decide, this is what I want, this is what I don't want, you are able to cut expenses. By the way, you're able to cut so much expenses because probably you're paying rent, house rent for like, let's say 50, 60,000 or 40,000, whatever, I don't know, it depends, right? But sorry for that, but you might not even want, you might not even, that's not something that you enjoy doing. I don't know if you guys are making sense, right? So you cut those costs because you can see your rich life. You can see probably, I want to stop working in the next 5 years. I want to be able to have my own property in the next 5 years. I want to be able to not be pressured, probably do remote works in the next 5 years. I want to maybe quit my job, start farming in the next 5 years. So when you decide on your rich life, you can see all this, everything else now you're looking at like noise. Like, this is just noise. When you see people buying things, you feel like, this is just too much noise for me, right? Because it's not something that is aligning with your rich life. It's not something that is aligning with your financial goals and what you're foreseeing for you and for your family. Okay, so when you see people are able to do these things, it doesn't mean that necessarily they have so much money, they have set themselves up for whatever. Right now, if I decide to live my life like this, it means my expenses are so low, guys. My expenses are so low. So you think, she has so much money. And you see someone and you think they have so much money. When you see someone content and you see someone living their own rich life, you will think they have so much money. But it's a choice of I choose this and I don't take this. Okay? So you make a choice. So on this Sunday, I want you to take a pen and a paper and just be honest with yourself. Guys, you can't be moving to 2026 doing the same thing that you are doing in 2025, 2024, and you feel so stuck. The number of people I talk to that feel stuck in very toxic jobs, but they can't leave, because leaving means destabilizing their whole life. And if you have kids, you know it's not easy for you to just walk out of employment, walk out of a stable income, right? So it's not easy to do those things, but it's also very easy if you become intentional today. If you become intentional, and I'm telling you, when you decide to change your life, you're going to lose so much, and you're going to let so much fall off you, because now you see, you don't, if you've been going out every Saturday and every Sunday, and now you don't see, because that's not your rich life, that's not where you foresee yourself. So it means if you had friends who you were going out, you will stop going out, right? If you see your friends taking trips, you don't go, because it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing, and kudos to them, but it just means it's not what I'm foreseeing for my future. I don't foresee this for myself, right? So that's what I'm saying. This Sunday, be honest, create a list of debts, start paying off your debts one by one, so that you know for the next 5 years, guys, I'm locked in for the next 5 years. Because I will not tell you that changing your life is an overnight thing. That's a lie. That's a lie. You're going to hurt yourself. It's a lie to tell you that you're going to change your life overnight. So it requires a lot of intentionality. It requires a lot of sacrifice on your part, and just stepping away from what is norm and what is looked at as should be happening. You should be going out every Sunday and Saturday. That's not normal, guys. You should be taking your kids. You should be taking your kids and spending between 5 to 10K every Saturday. That's not normal. I don't know why people have normalized some things that are not even normal. That's not normal. It's not normal for you to be spending every weekend like that, right? So be intentional. Come this side, mama. Be intentional, guys. Be intentional. What I can say is just be intentional with your own life, and you're going to live such a beautiful, beautiful life. If you're just intentional, you're going to be shocked by how content your life will be, or how beautiful your life will be, right? Everything is possible under the sun. You have the power and the ability to achieve anything that you need to achieve, but that will require a responsibility on your part, responsibility of seeing the kind of, or being intentional, or fighting for the kind of life that you want, right? Okay, so so I'm almost home. I think we walked like almost 3 or 4 kilometers. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. You can see the clouds, guys. You can see I'm gonna create one day. I'm just gonna come up with a way to bring people here so they can come and relieve and sit down, and for us to have money conversations near the mountains, right? Okay, so thank you, guys. Have a lovely, lovely Sunday, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.